Welcome to the Explainer. So, have you ever seen someone who has this almost mysterious level of strength, but they're definitely not living in the gym 24/7? Today, we're going to break down exactly how they might be doing it by looking at the Soviet method. It's this pretty wild system that flips the script and treats strength not as just brute force, but as a skill. Yeah, a skill you can practice every single day.
And this quote, man, it just nails it, right? The whole fitness world for decades has been chanting no pain, no gain. The idea that you have to absolutely wreck your muscles so they can grow back stronger. Well, the Soviet method looks at that idea and just turns it completely on its head.
So here's the big idea, the absolute foundation of this whole thing. Strength is a skill. Just let that sink in for a second. It means the real secret to getting stronger isn't just buried in your biceps, it's actually in your brain. You're not just building muscle, you're training your entire nervous system to get really, really good at a task.
And the technique behind all of this has a great name, greasing the groove. Okay, imagine the connection from your brain to your muscles is like a faint path through a tall grassy field. The more you walk that path, the clearer and faster it gets, right? That's what this method does. You're paving a neurological superhighway for strength signals. It's all about practice, not punishment.
Yeah, and this basketball analogy, it's pretty much perfect. A great shooter doesn't just go out and heave the ball at the hoop until their arm is about to fall off. No way. They practice thousands and thousands of perfect, identical shots. The Soviets took that exact same logic and applied it to strength, treating every single rep as a chance to perfect the skill of the movement. And wow, when you see it laid out like this, the difference is just stark, right? Traditional workouts are all about high fatigue. They're designed to leave you exhausted because they focus on muscle damage. Greasing the groove is the complete opposite. Low fatigue, but super high frequency. Every time you do a rep, your brain sends an electrical signal. This frequent, fresh practice makes that signal faster and more powerful, which lets you recruit more of the muscle fibers you already have. It's not about building bigger muscles, it's about building smarter muscles.
Okay, so theory is great, but what does this actually look like day to day? Well, the whole system was basically built on three really powerful pillars. Pillar number one is all about that practice. And as you can see here, it can be as simple as doing a few perfect push-ups every hour. The goal is not to get tired. You're not trying to feel a burn. The goal is to rack up hundreds of flawless reps throughout the day, constantly greasing that groove and making that neural pathway incredibly efficient.
Now, pure strength is pretty useless if your body can't actually handle it. I mean, what good is a powerful engine in a chassis made of cardboard, right? That's why the second pillar is all about durability. Having strong muscles on weak joints is just a recipe for disaster. So here, the focus shifts to these foundational exercises, things like pull-ups, dips, and heavy carries, to build what they call bulletproof joints, tough tendons, and a rock-solid core. And the final pillar is endurance, but probably not the kind you're thinking of, like jogging. This is about work capacity, your ability to perform powerfully for a long, long time. Using an explosive exercise like a kettlebell snatch for hundreds of reps, that builds incredible cardiovascular strength, sure, but it also toughens up all your connective tissues. And maybe most importantly, it teaches your entire body to fire as one seamless, powerful machine. Okay, I know what you're probably thinking. How in the world can you train this frequently without completely burning out? Well, let's dive into that because it all comes down to their really unique approach to recovery. Their big secret to training almost every single day was this concept called wave loading. Just think of your effort level like a wave in the ocean. It goes way up high on a hard day, and then it comes way, way down on a light day. It's this constant movement, this rhythm of stress and recovery that allows the body to adapt and get stronger without ever crashing. And this brings us to a super important point. So let's be clear, a light day is not a couch day. That's passive rest. They believed in active recovery. Gentle movement, like a long walk or some light stretching, keeps that nutrient-rich blood flowing to your muscles, actively helping them repair and flushing out all the junk. In short, for them, movement is medicine. One of their most famous recovery tools is visualized perfectly right here, the heat and cold pump. Okay, so just imagine your blood vessels for a second. You get into intense heat, like a sauna, and they expand. Then you plunge into ice-cold water, and they rapidly shrink. This physical expansion and contraction literally acts like a pump, forcing all those metabolic waste products out of your muscles and just dramatically speeding up recovery. It's brilliant. Of course, none of this works if you're not fueling the machine, right? You can't outtrain a bad diet. But the Soviet approach to nutrition wasn't about complicated meal plans or obsessive calorie counting. It was actually built on a few really simple but powerful principles.
It really came down to three core ideas. First, meals were based on buckwheat, or kasha, because it gives you this steady, long-lasting energy that doesn't spike your blood sugar. Second, their go-to protein was cottage cheese, or tvorog, which gives you that slow-digesting casein protein, perfect for repairing muscle overnight while you sleep. And third, and this is key, they timed their biggest meal to come right after their hardest workout, which is exactly when your muscles are screaming for nutrients to rebuild.
So, how does this all fit together in a way you could actually use? What does a full week actually look like? Well, here's a sample plan that pulls all of these principles together. And this weekly plan really brings it all home. Just notice the rhythm, the wave. Monday is a hard day of heavy swings, and it's followed by a light recovery walk on Tuesday. Wednesday is another hard day, this time with pull-ups, and it's followed by a light swim on Thursday. See how that heat and cold therapy is specifically scheduled right after those hard sessions? And look at the meal timing. The biggest meal always follows the toughest workout. It's a complete, sustainable system for building real functional strength. So if you take one thing away from this, it should be this. Strength isn't something you build by destroying yourself in the gym. It's a skill you develop through consistent, smart practice. It's not about annihilation. It's about accumulation. And that kind of leaves us with this final thought to chew on. If this approach can build incredible physical strength, what else in your life could you master by just greasing the groove?